Hello and welcome to Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for Sobre Elas. My name is Eric Siler. I'm an instructor of film, media arts, communications, as well as moderator for this conversation. We are very pleased to be joined by the director of Sobre Elas. We have with us Bruna Arcangelo. Bruna is joining us from Brazil. Hello, Bruna, and welcome.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, nice to see you.
It's good to see you as well, too. I'm going to ask you, Bruna, if you don't mind turning your camera off now. For those of you who are joining us, Bruna is joining us from Brazil. And the internet today, as we were testing out, has been a little unstable. And it's been proven that she is more effective communicating with us with her camera off. So we did get a look at her in the beginning, and hopefully at the end we can do the same thing as well, too. But Bruna, sometimes we have some students who are joining us that are studying Spanish. And do you mind saying a special hello to those students that are studying Spanish?
Oh, no, no. Hola, ¿cómo estás? My Spanish is like we say in Brazil, like Portunhol. It's a mix of Portuguese and Spanish. So um, when I'm communicating like in front of the person, it works better. But um, uh, hola, espero que estén bien.
Well, thank you for that greeting. I'm sure our Spanish speaking students appreciate that. And this film, really powerful, really amazing film. You found three very powerful subjects. Can you tell us about what came first? Did the idea come first to empower women, or did you find the subjects first and you had to say to yourself, I have to make a film about this? How did this come together?
Um, I have this, I'm a very passionate person, so the process of making a film always affects me like so much. And I have this passion about like talking about issues that have a certain level of taboo. So it inspires me a lot. And so I'm very connected about like women issues. And I think the first thing I decided to do was I decided about the subject, the point of view. So I really wanted to portray a trans woman and someone with disability and someone who had suffered any kind of domestic violence, probably because I'm from Brazil and we face these issues like very often. So this came first, and then after that I went to find the characters who were basically real people.
Okay, so how did you find these, as you call them, real people? Did you find them through the internet, through referrals? How did you find them?
So yeah, basically I connected to my network, talking with like friends, and some of them uh, uh, they always know that I'm always looking for people, and for good stories. So they always tell me about people they know, and it was pretty easy to find when I decided I wanted like a surfer, a skater, and a trans woman. It was basically easy to find, like just talking to my network, to the people around me.
Exactly. So tell us about your approach to this. Let's start in the order in which you displayed the subjects. The trans woman, you spoke to the trans woman and you told her that you would like to capture her story. Can you tell us how that developed? How did you gain her trust and that you were actually going to, portray this in a way that she's comfortable with and that you want it?
Me, for myself, for the way I want to communicate with people, like in my life, not only making a film, but I like to be just open, and um, tell them a little bit about my beliefs, what I like, and why I'm interested about that. So I think this whole thing, you know, the way you approach people, it makes a lot of difference. So they felt very comfortable about talking about the subjects. And actually, I usually do like long interviews, so like 1 hour. So I have time to, you know, talk about like random things in the beginning, about dreams, about things that are not really related to the film itself, you know, but about life. So I think after that they feel more comfortable to get into the the subjects, the issues that are more delicate for them.
And that you did. I mean, there's just some the words that you were able to draw out of the subjects were just so powerful. I know for the trans woman, one a quote that she said was, "Deep down inside, we just want to survive." And I that was just so gripping in the way you displayed her and just displayed it. It's just it's really powerful, and I can see that was your intent, is to really make us connect with the subjects. Is that correct?
Yes, I think about the trans woman, we have a in Brazil. I don't know the numbers in the rest of the world, but in Brazil is the nation with the highest number of transgender people killed. So life expectancy of a trans person in Brazil is like 35 years. You know, this is very, very sad. And
What do you mean killed? Is it
sometimes
because of
it's,
the? Is it because, I'm sorry to interrupt, is it because they're trans, or is that why they're killed? Can you?
yes,
Mm.
yes. I'm gonna tell like a short story. I hope it the sound goes perfect. But when I started as a film, some of the various, so there was someone doing a research about like random things, like and I was with this person filming the process. So we used to go to people's house, like people from all over in Brazil, and understanding how they feel, how they interact with like connection with internet. So this project, like 10 years ago, I had the chance to sit with a trans man, and it was a very fascinating to, you know, to listen to how they feel and how they the problems they face with the society, you know, since they are very little, since they are kids. So from that moment on, I realized that there are some stories that need to be told, you know, that need to be portrayed, like some point of views that are really important for us to understand, because the world is changing so much, and we can't ignore those facts and ignore those people, you know, they're really struggling to exist. I know in different countries it's different, né? Right? It's a huge problem. So it's important to bring those kind of stories, like women that suffer with like domestic violence. You know, it's very common in Brazil. After the pandemic, it was like even worse. So
The next question I have, well, I just want to make one comment about the first subject. The filming of that was just remarkable. I found myself holding my breath, seeing the skateboarding on a rooftop and being close to the
wow.
edge. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Why you decided to film on a rooftop and so forth?
Oh, I think it's again the this idea of bringing the attention, you know, and putting her in a place that is interesting because it's on the top, but at the same time, no one can see her from there. So it's that feeling, you know, and she's all around, but no one can actually see how she feels and see how she lives, you know. So that was the idea.
Yeah, well done. Well conceived with that. Let's move on to the
Thank you.
woman with the disability, the surfer. That's remarkable. Uh, so tell us a little bit about your relationship with her.
I didn't really know her. Like, I just talked to her when I went into the documentary. But I've been working a lot in the film, so have already filmed many surfers, especially women. And I invited her to this project, and she was like 100% like available since I talked to her, and it was very pretty. I started crying. Usually they cry when I interview, but this one, she started talking and I was already crying.
Well, what made you cry? What did she
It's
say
interesting
that made you
because
cry? Well, what did she say that made you cry?
she's so always happy. She's always
Mhm.
smiling all the time, and like watching her just facing that issue with like absolutely no problem and so positive. I was like, oh my God. She's like so sweet, and so positive like all the time.
Right.
That yeah, I could like cry right now, just that you remember.
Yeah, she was so inspirational. It just yeah, I could see that just her love for life and and so it was just well captured in that sense. And just give us a little bit of behind the scenes of the filming someone on a surfboard. That's something you do all the time, correct? Or how did that go?
Yeah, what do you mean, like filming?
Right, her, actually surfing and getting that footage. Tell us a little bit about how that went.
Oh yes. Yeah, I had someone, a friend of mine, filming her in the water because I felt it was really important to have that scene. And we spent like a day together. It was pretty chill, but I was filming uh the part of that she's not in the water. I was filming alone. So it's hard, in the end of the day, I was literally like lying on the floor, like, oh my God, I'm exhausted because we woke up very early, and we need like a very different time because she has it's different for her to move, to go from a place to another. So yeah, it needs a lot of like attention and consider all these things, when you're filming someone with disability. But as I said, she was so open and so like, yeah, like positive, and she was really happy about the film. That it was great. It was great.
It was great, and just she's just so inspirational. And I know one quote she said was, she said the most challenging part is gaining recognition, and she just wants to be just like anyone else and not be seen as someone with a disability. You displayed her as just like a person, that just wants to compete and do things everyone else does. So it's just really well done with that. Let's move
Yes,
on.
thank you.
Let's move on to the last subject, the woman suffering from domestic violence and the martial arts. I like that fighting theme there. Is that something that attracted you to her because she was engaged in martial arts, or is that something that was put into the documentary to show the fight that she had? Tell us about that.
um Her name is Neuma, and a friend of mine work with her, like, because she has a son, and so this friend of mine work as a psychologist with his kid. So I knew her story before I met her, and I was very inspired by her story. She actually started like the jiu-jitsu, which is like very common here in Brazil, not because of the things she suffered, you know. It was basically because she was like at the gym, and the gym had jiu-jitsu as well, and someone looked to her and said, "Oh, I think you should try." So it wasn't something that she decided to do to fight against someone, you know. It was something that someone invited her, and she was like, "Well, okay, let's give it a try." And then she was like, "Great," you know. She's 42 years old, and in 1 year she was like in all the competitions, like winning, and it's just amazing, you know. It's a beautiful story, beautiful but sad at the same time.
It is too, and I'm sure the jujitsu is helping her, cope and deal with the struggles that she's had in her life, and that's what was well displayed. It could be inspiring to others who are going through
Yes.
challenges to find some type of outlet. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like jiu-jitsu changed her life completely, but she is still facing a lot of problems, you know. She can really relate, yeah, like her relationships are affected, probably until the end of her life, you know, because she's still like, there are a few things that we didn't put in the documentary. For example, like these issues that she's still dealing with, you know. So it's a story that has a lot of positive things, but so many, so much trauma involved, you know.
exactly. So what about the other two? Are you keeping in touch with the other two subjects? And if so, can you give us an update on their lives?
Oh yeah, I stay very connected to the people I work with. That's very good, and I love to create this network. And not sometimes it's not like very easy. For example, Elise, who's a skater, she mentioned a collective of skaters that she used to go to skate with, and and I know that they are not very connected at the moment because, I mean, people have their life, you know, so it's not always easy to keep this movement happening all the time. And I know sometimes she feels a bit frustrated about it because it's the only way for her to go skating in the streets is when she's with those people, and it's frustrating for her when she cannot find someone to go there, you know. And but the other one, they keep, um yeah, doing what they love doing. Like Nilma is doing jiu-jitsu. She's been to US for competitions, which was like her dream. And Monique as well, the surfer, she's been to California. She's doing very good.
That's good. That's good to know. I know we're over time, and but I feel this conversation is so important just to get out some really good information. Just two real quick questions. One, can you just tell us about the response you've received from screening this film?
In general, or with
In
with
general,
them?
or with the subjects, both. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was actually very surprised because I had like a month, you know, to make this film. And um like since I finished, and I had the chance to show like to my friends and family, I could see like everyone very inspired by the film, that I was surprised because I wasn't imagining to make something so strong in like a period of time, like a month. It's hard, but even the subjects like Elise, Neuma, and Monique, they were very surprised when they watched. Were not expecting that for sure. And we are going to different festivals, and it's been very a very good experience to have this film, like going to places like Pakistan and Japan, you know, like this is the magic for me when we have the chance to share, you know, and spread the stories and the information.
That's great. And also kudos to your editor who did an amazing job with this film.
Yes.
Are there plans to, well, what are your plans next? Do you plan to maybe make a feature, do another film like this to highlight more subjects? Can you tell us a little bit about the future for you?
At the moment, I'm working on a TV series about the food system in Brazil, which is a big issue that we are facing. So I'm studying how the food is related to how we're gonna keep this world alive. You know, the nature. We have the Amazon in Brazil, so we face so many issues like illegal logging and yeah, this is the thing that I'm working at the moment. I'm writing and trying to find a way to make it happen.
Well, good luck. I wish you all the best with that, and I hope you consider, highlighting some more powerful individuals. This is a really important piece of work, and I hope we don't see the last of these subjects or even more subjects.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. I love people. I think they are the most. I always say that everyone has a good story, you know, and I really believe that.
That's true. Everyone does have a story, a good story, as you say. There's good in everyone. So it's time to say goodbye. I don't know. I'm sorry that there was internet issues, but if you could turn your camera on real
I'm
quick
gonna
and
try.
people can see you. And do you mind saying a special goodbye to our Spanish students that are studying Spanish?
Oh yeah, my brain is, it's hard to work in different languages, but yeah, not very nice to have this chance to talk to you, and thank you very much for inviting me. And gracias por todos. Espero que tenham gostado. I hope you liked to know a little bit about the behind the scenes and all the stories behind.
Well, thank you for that, Bruna Arcangelo, director of Sobre Elas. Thank you for joining us. And
Thank
thank you.
you.
Mhm. And thank you to our audience for joining us for this important and invigorating conversation. For more information about upcoming film festivals, please visit us at clevelandfilm.org. I'm Eric Siler. Thank you.